All right, are we live? Are we doing this? Yes, we are doing this. I'm seeing people funnel in now. Just keep an orderly line as you come in here. Hello, I'm Charlie. I'm head trad husband here at Momentus. I am here to help officiate this battle of the bands. I'm so glad you guys are all here. The chat is now turned on, so if you'd like to say hi and where you're from, we'd love to hear from you. The Q&A box is also turned on, so if you have questions for Jen and Jo, please use the Q&A box because sometimes the chat gets going, you get chatty, there's a waterfall of people talking, and then we don't see your questions. So use that Q&A box. Yep, see people now, California, Germany, yep, UK. Oh my God, it's international. Okay, great. This is a universal topic, I guess, this fun novel. So, oh, Luxembourg. Okay. I'm going to bring these two in because you're not here for me.
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg. Yeah. All right. Come on. Let's get you guys in here. You guys have to address the international crowd that's happening in here in the chat. Italy, Brazil. Okay.
Australia.
Shut up. Oh my God. I feel like we have to go on world tour now. I love this.
This is our sign now.
This is a sign right here. Yes, absolutely.
I'll let you two have at it. Have a great time. And use that Q&A box, everybody.
Oh my God, this is so exciting. Like, first of all, seeing so many familiar faces on here. Hi, Yaz from Germany and like Australia, Houston. This is so cool. And then also seeing one of my favorite humans on the planet, Jo Piazza.
Hello.
I'm so excited. And it's such a pleasure to sit across from you right now. I wish it was in real life, but technology is amazing.
Technology, and we're busy women. We're like both like all over the place all the time. As is our audience.
Yeah, no, apparently. Well, we need to come and visit. It sounds like we have to do our world tour, but I'm so grateful to have you here. I mean, Jo, if our audience is not aware, Jo is an award-winning journalist, a podcast host, a best-selling author whose work has taken Jo from newsrooms to far-flung corners of the world, and always with a sharp eye for stories that reveal something essential about how we live today. Jo is an author of both fiction and nonfiction, including Charlotte Walsh Likes to Win, The Knockoff, and We Are Not Like Them, co-written by Christine Pride. And across all of her work, Jo has an incredible knack for capturing the intersection of culture, politics, and the intimate realities of women's lives.
I love that introduction. On our world tour, I want you to say that like over and over and over.
I will. And then I'll be like, oh my God, Jo is like the most amazing human being on the planet.
And then I get to do yours, and it could just be like a love fest.
Shut up. Yeah, right. I'm a hot mess express. Like literally my computer right now is on my farmhouse box. Like I'm sitting on
that's perfect.
Here we go.
Like full real life. My kids are off school today, which I didn't remember until this morning. Yeah, I mean they're off for the holidays, and like I had no idea until this morning. And I'm like, time to get out of bed, and they're like, we don't have school today, Mom.
I hate those days so much.
Yeah, and I'm like,
so relatable.
I know. I'm like kidding. Let's have some pancakes.
Thank you so much then for making time, because I feel like on days when your kids are at home, like they're the most stressful days, which thank you so much to everyone for being patient, because I had to push 30 minutes because I just got a call that my oldest is sick, and so I had to go pick him up. So we're all momming, we're all parenting.
We're all doing all the things. Like, yeah, we're women, busy women in the world. Life is a lot.
All the hats, all the tradding, all the things. All the things, which brings me to your newest book. First of all, The Sicilian Inheritance, also amazing.
I love that. I love that one so much. I remember I gave you that. Didn't I give that to you at Mom 2.0?
No, I think I had it, and then I was so excited because we had met online and on social media.
Online. Yeah.
Which is like the weirdest thing ever and also the greatest. But we met online, and I'd been following along, and then I got your book, which I was so excited about. I'm a huge fan of yours. And then we got to meet in real life at Mom 2.0 in Nashville, Tennessee, of all places, as one does. Yeah, exactly. And which totally makes sense, because I feel like
you may recognize some things that happen at these conferences.
I was like, where did you get your inspiration from? Which Mom 2.0 is a wonderful and fabulous experience. It's super fun, but it's
magical. That's the thing. Like I keep explaining it to people because readers keep asking me. They're like, oh, so Mom 2.0 or Mom Bomb, which is the conference in the book, they're like, it's satire, right? And I'm like, well, no. I'm like, I'm like, these mom influencing conferences exist. And what I need everyone to know first and foremost is that I've never seen so much business done at a conference than I have at these. I'm like, I've been to like, like electronics conferences or something like in Vegas, right? But like there's like multi-million-dollar deals being brokered. The classes are like master classes in branding and marketing. And like you walk away feeling so smart and so empowered. And then you're also just seeing like all of the background of the world of influencing at the same time.
Yeah. It's a wild, wild world. I mean, like I'm still feel like I'm scratching the surface of it all. And because there's just so many different verticals, and there's also so many different angles and so many different perspectives. And then at the end of the day, it is a business. Also, so you have to think of yourself as a brand if you're using your name and the whole thing, like the wheels and how it keeps on going. And then also to speak to other, primarily women in the space and ask how they're doing it and get creative and like feel inspired. And also I'm going to take a left turn here instead too with some of it, so it's like, it's cool.
It's cool. It's super cool. I mean, and like, I wanted this book to really like reflect the realities of influencing. Like I've been reporting on influencing for 5 years now. I've been reporting on the rise of trad wives for 2 years. And I've covered all different kinds of things as a journalist. I think that's really interesting to talk about because I was a celebrity journalist in the beginning of my career. And then I was a financial journalist for a little bit, which might have been my least favorite thing I was doing.
You don't like talking numbers?
No, actually, I can't even add. I can't even do my third grader's homework.
I'm in the same boat. Yeah.
It's so hard.
Oh my God.
And then I was a political journalist for a long time. And so for me, this is the ultimate mashup of celebrity and political journalism in a lot of ways. And I truly think that influencers are our new celebrities. Like more people are watching people's lives on their phones on the palm of their hands than are watching the latest Netflix shows in some cases. And so I think it's really important to have media literacy around how influencing works and for us to talk about it more.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Gwyneth Paltrow in her newest podcast sort of I don't know if it's her. I mean, I was influenced. It was like showed up in my algorithm, and she was talking about, I think, when she sort of entered the space and how it was like the perfect time because celebrities, it was like that hidden mystery. You didn't get a real piece or sense of like what their life was like. And so for her to enter at that time and space was just like to get, I guess, a peek behind the veil, so to speak, and then having the platform and then other people realizing like, wow, this is within my own power or my, I'm able to sort of step into the space and use the space to also, have more followers or an audience that are bigger than celebrities, which is like so wild and interesting. And I think really special, I think, because we are all humans and like also learning how other people that are like us or doing similar things are doing it.
Yep.
Sometimes more aspirationally than others, which is fine. But before, like, first of all, I just got to say, everyone is lying to you. Sorry, I know my background is blurry. I am a Luddite. I don't know what to do. So you're gonna have to bear with me. But
girl, I wouldn't be able to help you fix that. I don't know how that works.
Don't ask me. I'm
Charlie.
Charlie. Can you help me from afar, please? No, but first of all, I absolutely devoured, like, I couldn't get through your book fast enough. I just like had to know what was happening with like Rebecca, and like knowing Bex's like backstory and Liz, just I loved it so very much. Like I could not wait to get to the end. Like I had to like get through it. It was so good. But before we even get into this, like I kind of want to talk a little bit about your origin story, if you don't mind, because you wear so many different hats. And I love, like, I'm so inspired by you and the way that you do things and make it seem so effortless, which I'm sure, like, that's what, when the real work comes in, because it just seems so easy and clearly a lot of work goes into it. But all of the different hats that you wear, I love your podcast. I just was actually just listening to the one on creativity, and which I found so helpful, and I felt seen and heard, and I felt really inspired by it. It was so good. But I would just love to know, because from journalism to podcasting to authoring so many different like fiction to even bits of nonfiction. I don't know how you do it. So I would just love to know your start, I guess your origin story, and I don't know what your
Yeah.
favorite hat is, so to speak, too.
Yeah, all of it, all of it. Like, I mean, I love a superhero origin story the most. It's my favorite brand of Marvel movie too. But yeah, I think I love talking about this because I have to say the world has changed so much since I graduated college and journalism school. And I think a lot of us are in the same boat, regardless of what industry we're in, that we're all kind of constantly hustling as the world changes to find our place in like different niches and different genres and like reinvent yourself at a certain stage in your life. Like you get married and things change and you have kids and things change. So like, I love talking about this and how my career just hasn't been this ladder that I thought it was going to be. Like I thought that I was going to graduate journalism school. I'd interned at the New York Times, which I kind of lucked into that job. I saw like a little post-it on the like board in my student newspaper. They're like, we need interns in our Trenton bureau, like the least glamorous place on earth. And
Trenton, New Jersey.
At Trenton, New Jersey, and I'm like, I'm your girl. And then I just kept calling, and like I would just show up because my parents' house was across the street from Trenton. I would drive from school in Philadelphia, and they're finally like, fine, you're hired, Piazza. And I'm like, excellent. And so like I barely went to class senior year because I was just interning at the Times the whole time.
Oh,
and
cool.
I thought it was great, whatever. And I thought that would be my life, but they're like, this is right before the internet changed everything about journalism. It was 2002. So they're like, go to a small town newspaper and like cut your teeth on like school boards and local stuff, and then come back to us in 5 years. And I'm like, I do not want to do that. So I went to New York and went to Columbia for J school. And the only job I could get was as a gossip column assistant at the New York Daily News.
Wow.
And I knew nothing about celebrities, guys, like less than nothing. And this is
that probably makes you a perfect candidate in a way, because you're not like invested where you're like obsessed. You're like looking at it from a real journalistic standpoint.
Totally. And I can also like, I was not starstruck except for Meryl Streep. Okay.
Oh my God, yeah. Who isn't?
Who isn't? Okay. Like just Meryl Streep. And that was fine. And she was totally cool about it. But like they would, and this is pre-internet celebrity, all of the celebrity magazines just started right after I was doing it. And so it's like the rise of Paris Hilton as a socialite. And like I'm being sent out to all these clubs and I'm like, I don't know who anyone is. I had to make flashcards for myself. But you're right. I got to cover it kind of like an anthropologist in the same way that I now cover influencers. And so I was just thrown into this world. I worked my way up there. I got my own column. I had been an assistant on the wonderful Russian Molly column, got my own column, was then moved to political campaigns because it was so similar to celebrity reporting at that point, right? You had all the celebrities on the campaign trail. So they put me on like the campaign bus, which was not as cool as Hunter S. Thompson made it out to be. And all this stuff. I was just like, where's all the parties, guys? And they're just like nerds on their computer. And so then I started covering politics, and then I went to Current TV, which was Al Gore's network upstart on the progressive side as an antidote to Fox News. And that was super cool. I was working with Gavin Newsom, with Al, with Jennifer Granholm, and all those folks doing all their digital stuff and social and developing what that looked like for news. And then went back to do some magazine stuff, and this is like the big pivot, hired by Yahoo. I'd been doing some travel writing and was hired by Yahoo to launch their digital travel magazine. Because I'd been doing so much in the digital space, I built websites for different magazines and also for Current. And so they hired me to create like the next generation travel website. And this is when Yahoo just had so much money, even though they were still like the sad stepsister of like Facebook and Instagram. And they sent me to 32 countries in 3 years. And like we built a really, really amazing site. And then they ran out of money. But I met my husband on a boat in the Galapagos.
Stop.
Yes. Like he was also a journalist on assignment. We like were on a free 10-day trip in the Galapagos and then like made out on the last night. And then
I love a work relationship.
I know. And it was like, then we got engaged in 3 months. So I learned how to do all these things. And the common theme of them was that I was just constantly pivoting. Like media was changing so fast. It changed every year. And so I felt like I didn't really have a choice. If I wanted to stay in it, I wanted to be a storyteller, which I did. Like I like consider myself a storyteller above all else. I had to figure out every new medium as it came along, even though it was exhausting and I burnt out and I was really scared a lot of the time. And then I started dabbling in writing books. My first book was actually nonfiction. It was called Celebrity Inc. How Famous People Make Money. Weirdly still holds up today in a totally different way. Because after doing the gossip stuff, there were editors that were like, why don't you write like a fun, like juicy tell-all? And I'm like, no one really wants to hear about like my sad ass, like staying up at a club until like 4 a.m. Like I had not, I mean, look, all right, well, we could talk, we could all just have
I think that'd be great.
Yeah. But I was like, but I'm really interested in the money and how like the branding works. And this was like when product placement was starting. Charlie Sheen had just gotten paid for the first tweet. Celebrity fragrances were booming. And that was so interesting to me. Like, and it was the early days. It's just like influencing. It was the early days of branding yourself as the commodity, as opposed to your talent as the commodity, I think. And so that was nonfiction. And then I wrote my next nonfiction book because while I was really burnt out at the Daily News, in 1 year, they had me covering the time that Britney Spears shaved her head and attacked the paparazzo with an umbrella. You know, as we get older and age as women in this world, as mothers, I'm like, I understand it now, girl.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
I am here with you.
I'm one decision away from that being
one decision away from being you. Okay, one. So I was covering that. I was covering the Elliot Spitzer, the mayor of New York's prostitution scandal. And then I ended up working with Elliot at Current TV, which is so awkward. And also covering, you know, Hillary Clinton's political campaigns on her own. So I was doing all of these things and burning out. And I decided to get a master's in religious studies for fun.
What?
Like cleanse my palate. I was literally like,
stop.
What would like, you know, just kind of like,
what would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do? You know, what would all of the higher powers do? And I started taking like night classes at NYU. And because the news was paying for it too. And I like, I'm Sicilian, so I love a bargain. And
I love it. Oh, my alma mater too.
Yeah, I mean, and I loved NYU. It was so wonderful. And so yeah, I got this master's in religious studies. My thesis was on how nuns used social media. And so that turned into my book, If Nuns Ruled the World, which is about 10 badass feminist nuns.
Yeah.
Who I love, who I became very good friends with. We're still on a group text. 3 of them were at my wedding.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're just like badasses. And from there, I felt like I was off to the races, and that like all of my books in some way deal with what it means to be a woman in the world with ambition, and a woman in the world that wants to change the world, and trying to find our place in a world that can be confusing and hard and isn't always set up for us. So like that is like my long origin story. And from there I started writing fiction, which I started doing a lot more of after I had kids instead of nonfiction, because I found it easier to just make things up while I was hiding from my children in the bathroom.
Yes. Like, where do I want to be right now?
Yeah. I have to be like, mommy has to go do an interview. It was like, I can just imagine.
Yeah, I do that.
What's going to happen next?
Oh my God.
Because I've been making babies for 8 years too. So I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. And then
you were in the thick of it.
Gosh, how old are yours now?
13, 11, and 8.
Okay. Yeah. So that feels like the next stage, because like my 8-year-old is amazing. I love it. Like, I mean, I love all of them, but like, I love an 8-year-old because I'm like, we can do things together. We can have actual conversations. And then like my 5-year-old and 2-year-old, we're still just like,
oh, but just wait until your 2-year-old's 8, and then suddenly you're like, the fuck? Like, because you know, everything now is in comparison to the oldest, I feel like. And so you're like, hurry up, you know?
Who are you? What are you doing? Oh, I will say, we gave my 8-year-old, my son Charlie, his own room for the first time this week.
How'd that go?
Oh my God. Well, he's always shared a room with his little sister. I mean, since like she was born, and he's so happy, but also took such ownership over it. He organized all of his clothes himself, and then woke up in the morning. He's like, I think I'm gonna take a shower now. And I'm like, you've never showered before in your life, bro.
What is happening?
Something
he's like,
about
I'm gonna drive
getting his own room. He's like, I'm a dude that showers now.
He's an exec now. He's like, this is my office.
Yeah, this is my office. I'm good. I'm just gonna take a quick shower and go to the gym. And I'm like, all right, bye. Cool.
Is he a Capricorn by chance?
He's not. He's a Libra. He's a Libra. Yeah.
Oh, very balanced.
I know. Yeah. So that was amazing. So yeah, that is how I got here. And now I'm on, after publishing for a long time. And I'd like to talk about this too, because I started out with my first books. I did kind of a hybrid indie publishing because I had an idea. I really wanted to go with it. And I didn't know if the big publishers would take it. And then I switched to having an agent and started publishing with like the bigger publishing houses. But only now, like 13 years into my publishing career, am I like, oh, I'm an author that makes a book a year. And like, I'm sticking with my editor and like, I'm like in a groove with that, but it took a really long time. Like it wasn't an overnight, oh my gosh,
yeah,
who I am now. And even for Sicilian Inheritance, I had to switch publishing houses because I had started writing books with my former editor. And so she couldn't be my editor anymore. And Sicilian Inheritance got rejected by like 9 houses. Because they were like, oh, you don't write historical fiction, you don't write thrillers, how will we market this? And I was like, you're gonna put it on a bookshelf and sell it.
yeah.
But they didn't want to take the risk. So like, I do really like bringing up the like level of like having to try again and work really hard for it and failing some of the time. But now now I feel really good about where I'm at professionally. That could change tomorrow, but I'm like super happy in this moment.
I love that so much. I mean, it just goes to, your origin story essentially, which is like you saw a window of opportunity and you had the preparation already, so you say it's luck, but it's luck and preparation, and the fact that you didn't take no as an answer, and I admire that. I'm also that way. The word no to me is like seductive in a way, because I'm like, oh, no, oh, here, hold my beer. Wait, I'll be right back. Watch this. I'm gonna, yeah, like, because I love that so much. And I also, you hit the wall so many times, and to not be afraid to hit that wall, because like you can punch through it, you can hurdle over it, but there's a way around it. There's always a way. And so yeah, and to be here and like, no, like I have a gift, I have, something to say, and this is important to say, and you don't get to dictate what I'm gonna do. I just, and now here we are, like admiring and gobbling up your books, which is just amazing. I love it.
Yeah, this is the fun part. Like I love readers, right? Like, and I love getting readers, like stories in readers' hands and also ears. And that's why I switched to podcasting like 8 years ago, which is bananas to me.
Wild.
But I started doing it when Charlie was a baby. And it was just because my friends were working at like this little company called How Stuff Works. And then that got gobbled up by a big company called iHeartRadio. So all of a sudden I was making podcasts for iHeartRadio, and I loved it because it was just like such an intimate medium. Like I get to be in people's ears and I get to accompany them while they're like working out or driving to school or breastfeeding their baby. And like that was like the one medium that I really, really embraced, that I loved. Like there are some like TikTok. It is embarrassing every time I go on TikTok. This is a thing that I should not do. I feel like even my friends that are good at it, like look at this, they're like, Jo, I'm a little ashamed for you. Like that was truly embarrassing. And I'm like, I know, it's not my medium. It's not my medium. But podcast.
Well, no, also just, I'm jumping on the TikTok bandwagon, but I also, I noticed this with my kids, especially my 13-year-old. It's almost like, I feel like I get to a certain place and it's like, I can't catch up anymore. Like the language, the acronyms, the way of speaking, certain trends or whatever. I'm like, wait, I don't even know how I can possibly catch up. I thought I was on the train and I was like, okay, I'm learning, I'm curious. And then I'm like, where did that come from? I don't even know how to access any skill sets that would be relevant or helpful to make that.
Nope. Literally, I've got nothing. Have nothing. And so that is just, it is a train that is going to pass me by, and the world is not going to end. It's going to be okay.
Well, that's okay. I also am not like, I don't know. I think all of like the amount of time, I also think I would imagine that it takes to remember the dialogue that you're supposed to say or like do or repeat. And I'm also like, why am I watching someone else sing someone else's song and do a karaoke to it? Like I'd rather go to a karaoke bar and have a beer and like be silly, because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening right now. But yeah. Anyway.
Exactly. I feel the same way, but like I kind of wanted to capture that feeling, because I do feel it less on Instagram actually, but like I want to capture that feeling in the book in the beginning, because one of our characters, Lizzie, is scrolling through and her husband's like, why are you looking at that woman's chickens? Like, do you know those chickens? Like there is an absurdity to like the level of voyeurism. And to go back to the celebrity stuff, because I covered the rise of reality stars, right? And in the beginning, everyone's like, this is never going to stick. This is not a thing that's going to exist in like 5 years. And I'm like, you're wrong. But like, that felt very voyeuristic at the time. And this is just the next level of that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and to go back to your book, like I would love how, when did you get this idea? And like, when did you know that you wanted to write about these characters?
Yeah. It's such a good question because it happened really fast. And so it was really last summer. I was, like I said, covering trad wives, like my podcast, Under the Influence started out as a deep dive into the world of mom influencers because, so I had my first girl, my daughter, 5 years ago. And, you know, like they come out of the womb and like the doctors are like, they can't really focus their eyes right away. Don't worry about it. And she just like looked me straight in the eye, like dead in the eyes. And it was like, we ride it done, bitch. It's us first, the world. And then she did not sleep for a year.
Oh
And
God.
I was scrolling Instagram constantly, like while I'm rocking her. And I was being served all of these mom influencers. And 5 years ago, you know, it was the flowery dresses, the big floppy hats. A lot of the women looked exactly like the women that lived like down the street from me in San Francisco. And like with their $400 baby carriers. And I'm like, this is not me. Like, I am clearly failing at this. Like, what am I doing wrong? And that's what I started reporting on the world of influencing. And it was awesome because at first I thought I'm pulling back the curtain on this, but it was more than that. It was a deep dive into this multi-billion-dollar industry by women for women that was not being covered because it was by women for women and written off mostly as fluff. And frankly, it still gets written off as fluff a lot of the time, even though it is influencing so much of commerce and culture every single day. I mean, I think about that scene in The Devil Wears Prada where she's talking about the blues, right? Where she's like, you have no idea how much power we have over the market. And I think about it that the same way with influencers, about both ideas and stuff. And so I was covering them. And then I started seeing trad wives, which were like mom influencers, but like on steroids. So, and they were also like, they're like, you have 3 children. I've got 17 children. Like, you know, you've got backyard chickens. I've got a whole homestead farm. You think you're making like granola from scratch? I'm making a 9-course meal from scratch. And so I was just like, wow. And there was also this sense of like, one, quit your job, submit to your husband, have as many children as possible. You'll be happier. And so it was like this really big fantasy, stripping away all of the labor and actual caregiving of both childcare, being a wife, man keeping, and which is my new favorite word, truly. And then also farming. Farmers are the hardest working people on the planet. You know this. Like having animals and growing things. I'm actually looking out here because we have like 2 sad tomatoes left on our rooftop tomato vine. And I'm like, oh, can I eat those cherry tomatoes?
Well, my whole garden is scorched earth right now. So like
mine died because we traveled too much, right? Like we went to Tokyo for a week and all of my things died. There's 1 tomato out there. Like they didn't
pushing through.
Right? I will eat that tomato, right?
Yeah, you better.
I will. I'll send you a picture of it.
I gotta see the ketchup that you make.
I will make some homemade ketchup. I think there's a recipe for that by one of the trad wives. I should do it.
100% there is.
Yeah, that's actually great book marketing. I love it. Like you were just giving me so many ideas, girl.
I think it's a great, you should honestly do a recipe book based off of
this. Yes.
It would only take like 2 weeks to make a single. I mean, I remember reading like Charlie Trotter's book back in the day, and I was like, like every single thing had like an index, and you'd have to go, you know, to
and like look it up and like
yes. And I feel like every meal I see that's like from scratch, like I just happened to make the ketchup for the hot dog, and I was, you know, the meat for the pork, and I had to case it, and I was like, wait a minute, like, first of all, this took years, right? Like years to do. And how, like, you just filmed it in the same fucking in the same outfit, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. And nothing's dirty. Nothing's ever messy. No, there's no mess whatsoever. Yeah.
Like, my house, I'm like, oh my God, like I just make like cereal and there's like crap everywhere.
Everything. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm just staring at my like unmade bed with my messy laundry on it right now. And
I know, same.
Yeah. So I started thinking about like these trad wives online. I thought it was going to be a blip. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And the commerce aspect of it got more and more. It's like, oh my gosh, now they are selling you entire home lines and also courses on how to do this. And then there was this graduation speech a little over a year ago, where a certain professional football player on a team that just keeps losing to my team in the Super Bowl. I'm an Eagles fan, by the way. Go Birds.
I love it.
And he gave this graduation speech saying that a woman's highest purpose is to be in the home and serve her husband. And in my head, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what if these young women weren't just being polite in the audience and they were like, no, 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 no. And they started fighting back. And I wrote the scene in the book where someone says that at a conference, like the ones I've been to, and they just start chucking sourdough at him. And they're like, no, no, motherfucker. Like, this is like, you are just like cutting down and denigrating all of our work. And what I loved the most about that graduation speech was it was the nuns who came out and they're like, no, this is not like, this is not what we're teaching all of our young women who are in college.
I love it. Are these the nuns, by the way, that were in Michael Pollan's documentary where they're like making their own cheese from raw milk?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, talk about trad wife and the ultimate,
talk about trad wife, and they're like, but then we're gonna sell this cheese and save our house.
Yes. Save the world.
Save the world.
I loved it. It was on fermentation, I think, and about milk. Yeah. I thought it was so fast. He did it. I mean, he's amazing.
I'll watch or listen to anything Michael Pollan says.
Truly.
I may microdose at one point because of Michael Pollan. So yes, I'll listen to anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so like that was just kind of a fun thing. I wrote it like for fun. I posted it on my Substack. And then I was like, I think we have a book here. Like, I think it's a whole book because I'd been dying to write a murder mystery. And with all of kind of the smoke and mirrors in the trad wife influencing world, I was like, well, this is ripe for murder. Like, this is like, this is like, it's so twisty turny. And I told my editor, because I was supposed to, Sicilian Inheritance had just come out, and I was supposed to work on my new book, which is coming out next summer, The Parisian Heist. And it's great. This one is so good. I just turned it in, and we just got a cover for it, even though it's not perfect yet. But yeah, and I was like, I think I have a murder mystery, but you have to do it really fast because it's about trad wives, it's about influencers, everything could change. And they're like, we do not do things fast. And I'm like, I'm well aware of this. And they're like, I was like, I need it out in 9 months. And they're like, that is impossible. I'm like, what if I write it in three months and it comes out next summer and it comes out in paperback? And they're like, fine, we'll try it. And it was so cool because I was also like, this is great. Like, I got feedback on this from my Substack followers. I knew they liked it. Like, this is a cool way to see what books are actually going to work in the market. And they did it. And it came out. I touched it 6 months before it came out. Like, I did my last copy of it and I got it done. And now it is because it's paperback original. It's in Targets all over the country too, which is awesome because it's like an indie bookstore desert. It's like where you don't normally have an indie bookstore. So I feel like a lot of young women who are the ones most easily influenced by a lot of this stuff online are picking it up and being like, I didn't know I wanted to take down the patriarchy, but now I do. So thank you. Yeah, that was unexpected.
It's amazing. Well, first of all, congratulations on Target. I feel like Target like puts all of the major, bestsellers like on their shelves. So, and you usually, like I'm always like grabbing books from Target. So I think kudos to you. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then also just to go back to sort of taking on the patriarchy and like, regaining our power, so to speak. I loved what you're saying about, the Taylor Swift of it all. Like, I think we have to get back to flipping, like having that choice of like, why is it the women, trad or not, online and who are successful are ambitious human beings, I would imagine. So it's wild to me that and maybe it's just the language and the culture currently, and we're in a kind of a weird whirlwind tsunami at the same time of
all of the things.
All of the soup that we're in. It's just wild, but it's like flip it. And I think this is like a perfect example because it displays that so well and showcases it in a way where you're not hitting someone over the head of like, what the fuck you're doing.
No.
It's just like you get both sides between Lizzie and Bex, and watching first of all the fact that they had a relationship and a deep connection in the first place, and then watching as they both grew. I think one obviously in a more lateral sort of way, and one that took a big turn and shifted her, shifting her entire life. But to see those girls kind of, their journeys and then come back together. And I think it really allows the reader to form their own opinion, in a way
Yeah.
of how to reclaim their power, so to speak, and lifting that veil. And I just think your journalistic qualities come out so much, and it shows, I mean, obviously I've met you at Mom 2.0, and Mom 2.0 is an amazing space. And this is obviously not reflective of in a Mom 2.0, it's different, but like, being able to like tap into that and like know what that culture is like and know it for so long, and to really put it out there in the world in a really, really fun way. You did a great job. I felt really inspired by it. It was
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah. Well, it's such a strange, it's such a weird, it's a strange space. And
It's a great space. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. And well, I mean, I love you for saying that. And I love that description of it, because my goal also was never to cut any woman down or to judge women.
Yeah.
Like I'm not here for that. And in fact, that is one of the things that drives me insane on the internet, is the judgment of other women. I'm here to judge different like cultural themes and norms and things that I think are toxic for women, but like never a woman herself. And so I wanted influencers to feel really comfortable with me generally. And I mean, they're on my show all the time.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of friends who are influencers. So a ton of them read the book. I mean, I had dozens and dozens of women read this book before it came out. And I took all of their thoughts so seriously. And I'm like, you're right. You're like that's kind of a caricature. And that's my issue in my head. So like, I'm going to fix that. And I wanted every character to have her own path in her own way. Every woman in this book is ambitious. They're all ambitious in like completely different ways about completely different things. And that changes over the course of their lives too. Like sometimes they're ambitious about their career and sometimes they're ambitious about motherhood. And I think the beauty of feminism generally is having a choice of like,
exactly.
this is what I'm ambitious about right now. And I have the freedom to do that. And I have the choice to do that. And I wanted to show that. I wanted to show like Bex was on this path to this and it changed and she became a breadwinner in her family, which is happening to a lot of women that I know these days. And then this is how that changed her life. And like even Veronica, who does many questionable things in the book, much like Juicy in the Sicilian Inheritance, for those of you who have read it, but you can empathize with her. And so like I wanted like there to be gray areas for all of the characters, which is really important to me.
Yeah, I think there's a Venn diagram. Like there's always something that you can relate to or something that you have in common with. And I so relate to this so much. I mean, I started social media. I took a hiatus from acting because my husband, was working on Supernatural in Vancouver. And we got married and started having kids. And I honestly, I remember he had really long days. And I came out of the gate, had a lead on a TV show, and then I was on Supernatural, and then I was a wife. And he didn't make me, I had total autonomy and agency over what I wanted to do. But in order for us to be together, I had to make a choice. And that was my choice. And I remember thinking like, I think it was cleaning one day, or I don't know, do something around the house. And I thought, this is not my life, right? Like this is not what and I understand there's nothing wrong with that. It was just a shift of like, wait, I'm a career person, and now my skill sets, like I felt like, what am I doing? And I had to shift that around and go like, no, I'm supporting my partner so that we can be together. Like we were both having our own thing. But I started social media after I had my daughter because I wanted to have an outlet. I saw other women online, like Bex was doing, and like, what are they doing and how are they doing it? And like, I want to be able to do that and create and also bring home some of my own money. And it was wild. It was such a wild, cool, powerful thing. But it started because I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. Like I needed to feel like I had something. And it's a crazy powerful tool. It's so wild, but I also had the luxury of my partner encouraging me like, yeah, find your outlet, go do it. Like, and I was like, I don't know, and not that this is about me, but just that like I relate to that, and we are some, my husband especially, obviously is more in the celebrity space, but also to be a bit in the quote unquote influencing space or a presence online, and see some of this stuff. It's just it's wild, and I'm sure some of my friends probably, who I've known forever have like watched this and are like, wait, you have cows and chickens? Like, who are you? So I just like, it's like, it's this weird trajectory and this weird rat race where I can understand there are parts of Bex, like in the beginning when I was first starting, and like I was with an agency and the deals were really crazy at the time, and like they're throwing big numbers at you and things, and you're like, this is great. And then suddenly they have another deal, it's the exact same product but a different company, and they're like, but now you're like this one and have to tell everyone this is your favorite, and you're like, well, the money's great, but it's like this crazy whiplash, and you're trying to like, be success, or at least for me, that success and that feeling of success and feeling like I'm doing something for my family. It's that wild rat race. And so I don't know, just to watch Bex on that journey and see her on that journey, like I really empathized with her because I was in a very different place, obviously, and I didn't, there was no murder involved,
No
spoiler alert.
murder. No murder. Nice
At times,
husband. Nice supportive husband. Yeah.
but I'm sure he would, no, he wouldn't love it if I was a trad wife, which is, there's nothing wrong with a trad wife. It's as long as someone, like
Yeah.
you're saying, has choice.
It's
And
choice.
yeah,
It's
and
yeah.
I also wonder too, like I think the easiest way to have control over women is to get women fighting with each other as well, right? So
100%.
yeah, like if you
Yeah.
can say, well, no, like this is what your role is and this is what you should be doing. I can't believe that person would do that. That's unethical, or whatever, the vocabulary is, or whatever the language or the angle. And it's so easy. And I feel like that's a tale as old as time to get women to war with each other. And so it's so important to support each other. And I love this saying, and I've said it 100 times, but I love the saying, when you shine, I shine, seeing your
Yes.
peers and your friends, like doing what they love, like knowing that your book is so wildly, there goes my lamp, my Lumia cube is dying on me. Sorry guys. Um, behind the veil. But no, but just like, it just makes me so excited and so happy. And to bring it back to the book full circle, I'm sorry, I'm long-winded, but
No, you're not. I know. I'm going to interrupt you because I love hearing your story, because that story and the reason that I made Bex's story the way that I did is that it's what I heard from so many women, who became the most successful, like early bloggers, and like who were really the backbone of the early internet, like holding
yeah.
up the blogosphere in so many ways. And then also the most successful early influencers. It was that I had this career, I had this purpose in my life, and then I became a mom, and that's a different kind of purpose, but I wanted something for me and I wanted a creative outlet. And social media has given so many women that, and it has been a gift, because also working as a mom is so fucking hard. Like working in the world. I mean, I was at magazines for a long time in New York, and I remember like I was younger and my coworkers were starting to have their kids, and they wouldn't get home till like 7 o'clock at night. And like the bosses were not kind if they like had to do something for their kids, and like they were expected, and it was just FaceTime. Like no one's saving the goddamn world by like writing up a post. And it was just like proving yourself, and it was unflexible to moms. And this has like allowed women to create an entire media brand that is then on their terms, and it is work, and it is like such like it for me, it like that was the one thing I really noticed when I started the Under the Influence podcast was, I'm like, two things can be true. You can like be on Instagram and be like, oh my gosh, like this is like so much of this is marketing and advertising. And you can also be like, oh my gosh, so many women are creating their own media companies now that was not possible before. And that is cool as hell. And so your story is the same story that I just heard over and over again. And I think it's so powerful and so uplifting that so many of us have been able to do this, and then also be able to enjoy motherhood. Because I think a lot of my friends coming up in old school media for so long were not able to enjoy motherhood, and that sucks.
Yeah, I know. It's so hard, especially I'm sure when you're coming home like from a long job. Like, I mean, that I don't know why we're wired to have the guilt, but like having a job in itself is so fun and so great and like so rewarding in so many ways, but also like it is unforgiving when you're a mom. Like it's different than when you're a dad. And like who is there to help take care of the kids, put them to bed, like take them to car, like all the things and all those milestones and moments, like the tooth, that's fallen out and the tooth fairy's got to come and all those big things. And so the ability to bring it back into the house and like have it under your own hours and like the flexibility of it all and the lens and being able to control that lens is very like I mean seductive is the wrong word, but it's just very you know I don't know, freeing, I suppose, to be able
I
to
think
do that.
so. Yeah. I think it's freeing. I think it's empowering. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've also like, I mean, I feel so lucky that like I've been able to reach that point. I mean, I make the podcasts and write the books and all the things and newsletters, but I get to choose my own time. Like I said, I mean, the kids were off today and I've been working all day, but I also got to like take Charlie to CVS to pick up pictures, to do his All About Me Museum of Me poster for third
Oh
grade.
my God, we're working on one of those too.
Yeah, I think it's like the nationwide curriculum.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and
cool.
and then also like slip in a workout with my husband and like take beaded gymnastics later. But guys, this is so exciting. I started a new book today. I have a new book that is due next summer to come out the following year. And I just wrote my first 500 words this morning.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna put a pin in this just for a second because I love hearing how writers and authors like have their work day like and
Oh yeah.
and be able to juggle it all. So I'm gonna put a pin in that right now because I feel like I'm gonna digress and I'm not gonna actually talk about what we need to be talking about. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put a pin really fast because I just want to. It's upside down. I do want to get into this, and then I want to get into like your work and your writing style and stuff.
Yeah.
But just to go back a little bit, and so I make sure that I cover this book and everyone gets their questions answered. I just want to talk about Bex and Lizzie and their characters and the relationship and the story and all of that. And I want to talk a little bit about, I know you talked a bit about the origin story, but just I guess the process of that and how that sort of flowed out of you. And, you said it was a relatively short writing period, but
Yeah.
like did you have all of these plot lines? I mean, I know it's a thriller, so like how did you yeah, what are those seeds that got you to the ending and all of that? I want to get into the weeds a little bit with this.
Yeah, totally. You know what? I think I can combine both questions. I think I can do this all like in
Well,
one.
I'm gonna like totally dig in
Yeah.
because I love I'm so inspired by all the hats you wear, so I want to like really get into that too.
Yeah. No, they're all such good questions. I mean, so the book is primarily it's two main characters. You have Lizzie, who is a journalist who is working for a magazine that's like struggling to figure out who it is in the world, in the space of digital media. And she was best friends with this woman, Bex, in college, who was kind of a wild child. She was just like delightful. She nicknamed herself Slutty Bex, which is actually based on one of my very good friends in college.
Love it.
Nicknamed herself Slutty something.
Relatable.
And his mom came to one of my book events, and I was like, I hope you don't recognize your daughter. But yeah, and she's just a delight, right? And the last person that you think is ever going to end up becoming a very conservative trad wife influencer. But they had a falling out. Like they had a really bad falling out after college. And Lizzie believes that Bex ghosted her. I've had a lot of people, a lot of readers tell me that, that storyline got them even more than the murder, because I don't think we talk enough about losing female friendships and the pain of that.
Oh, it's so much worse than a romantic
So much
relationship.
worse.
Yeah.
So much worse. Yeah.
Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about it. We don't have the language for it. Like, you have a bad breakup and 9 of your friends are over with some tequila and ordering you French fries, and you break up with a friend and like no one ever talks about it again.
Well, no, because then it divides the friend group and who like
Yeah.
all the things. It's
All the things.
it's so hard.
It's so hard. It's so hard. And so I really wanted to focus on that. And then fast forward 15 years, Lizzie's married, Bex is married. Bex is this fantastically, ridiculously successful influencer. And Lizzie's just kind of like watching her on her little screen. And one day Bex reaches out and is like, hey, I want to reconnect. I know you're a journalist. I think I have a really great story for you. I've got huge news. will you do a profile of me and come meet me at this big mom influencing conference out west. We actually never say what state we're in. But it's totally based on the Amangiri in Utah, because
I was wondering, yeah.
like, and it was just like, it seemed like the perfect setting for a conference like this. And so Lizzie goes and they catch up, and like, you know, like so many female friendships like that you haven't been with in a long time, they click immediately. Like they're back in the same place they were in college. And then the next morning, Bex's husband ends up dead. She goes missing, and Lizzie is trying to figure out what happened in order to potentially save her friend. And so that is the crux of it. And I knew where the book would start. I knew where the book would end. I did not know the twists in the middle. And I actually never do. I am not a plotter at all, which drives a lot of writers, including my co-writer, Christine Pride, who I write books with sometimes, insane, because Christine meticulously outlines every book before she writes, and I cannot do it. I just like, for me, first off, I get bored. I'm like, this is like the most bored I feel like I'm doing. But it's also like part of the magic is sitting down and not knowing what's going to happen next. And so I like to sit down and just go, and it's kind of like a flow state. It is the one thing I'm super woo-woo about, that I'm like, I'm going to sit down at my desk and I'm going to write between 1,000 and 1,500 words every day. And it's the first thing I do because I need morning brain for it. Like I have coffee and I write, and I don't do anything else. I don't schedule meetings first thing in the morning. I don't do emails first thing in the morning. I get my word count in. But this book had to be done so fast that it was about 2,500 words a day.
Wow.
Which was a lot. I mean, it was like, you can, I'm like real comfortable in the 1,000 word, 1,500 word sweet spot now, but like 2,500, I was just like going cross-eyed.
Yeah. But it was flowing because you were like.
But it was flowing. Yeah. Well, because because I'd already done all the reporting on this world. So like I knew it. And what I didn't realize when I started, I'm like, oh yeah, of course, Lizzie's a journalist, because I need someone that is like the reader, kind of an outsider to this world who's uncovering it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, Lizzie's me. I just wrote myself into this book. And I'm like, I haven't written myself into fiction since my like first terrible bad romance novel 13 years ago.
No.
But like in a lot of ways, like, and people have read that are close to me, they're like, no, she like makes the same like terrible sarcastic jokes that you do too. And I'm like, I know.
They're not terrible. They're amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And so yeah, so then it was really flowing, and the twists kept coming. And that's the thing. Like I believe that when you get your butt into the seat, then you just like, the characters talk to you for the rest of the day. So I take notes on my phone all day long too. I'm like, I love abbreviations, and I like write myself notes. So it's always easier to get back in the chair too, when you know that you have a starting place. I always leave off in like the middle of a sentence, so that I never have to pick up at like the end of a chapter, because I think that that's easier, like to pick back up in the middle of the action. And yeah, it just like, it really worked. And the twists came along. I will say I turned it in, and then my editor, Maya, who I love so much, who I want to do books with for the rest of my life, was like, one more twist. And I was like, really? You want another twist? And she's like, I would. And so I did. And it is really funny because there's one review, I think it was like Library Journal. They're like, if there's one too many twists, you won't mind because they're so much fun. And I was like, Maya, that is your fault. That is all. But yeah, and so I bang out a whole draft. I don't edit, because I also think that is part of like being in the flow, where you're like, okay, all right, like it's coming to me. The character of Olivia didn't exist for a while, and now she's like my favorite. She's the best. I want to do a whole.
Yeah, she's wild. I was a little bit like skeptical. I wasn't sure where this was. I was like, I don't know. Can we trust her? I was like,
yes and no, but yes. And so yeah, like that is how it all ends up coming together for me. Like it's kind of messy. My first draft is super messy, and then I go back and edit it. And then when I'm like in my real final like editing phase, I leave my family, and I go on vacation alone and lock myself in a hotel for like 4 days.
I love it.
And print the book out and read it and go through and like do all of the stuff. And the first time I did that was for Charlotte Walsh Likes to Win 8 years ago, and Charlie was 3 months old, I think.
Oh my gosh, stop.
Yeah, he was 3 months old, because I had turned the book in like when I was going into labor. I'm like going into labor, and I'm like, all right. I sent it to my editor, who is Christine, actually, who I write books with now. And I was like, all right, I'm going in. take it or leave it. And but then I had to edit, and I was just like, I have to do this. And I just left. I left Nick with this 3-month-old baby. It's not like I knew any better how to deal with him than he did. I was a first-time mom too, is what I figured. I'm like, we're both flying blind, bro. And
Yeah.
I just left him with a fridge full of milk and took my pump and drove up to, we lived in San Francisco, so I drove up to Sea Ranch
Yeah.
on the coast and just like leaked milk for 3 days and edited that book. And now I do it every time. And I think it's so important. It's such a good reminder that as mothers and caregivers, we need that alone time so much. Like,
So much.
we have to get away if we want to clear our heads, and
Yeah.
we deserve that space. And yeah, and then I print it out again and bind it so it feels like an actual book. I'm like I have all these like tricks that I have to do. And so we just did it with the last one. Nick had it bound for me at Staples, and we went to Tokyo for my birthday.
I saw that. Happy birthday. That looked amazing.
It was awesome. Tokyo was amazing.
Oh,
and
I'm dying to go.
yeah, so you have to go. Like, you would love it. It is
Yeah.
wild. And your kids are the right age. My kids are not the right age yet. So
You didn't take your kids though, right?
no, we did not.
Yeah,
No,
smart choice.
not. No. Everywhere I was like, I'm so glad you're not here. So
Yeah.
happy to be. But no, we went solo, and so then I marked it all up and then put it all in, and now it's in with the editor, and
That is so cool. That is so amazing. It's so, I mean, it actually it's very different, but I just read, our last book pick was Kim Hooper's latest book, Women on the Verge. And it's so good too. But, just that, this is fiction, but like the inability, it's about a mother, and she's got 2 kids, stay-at-home mom, and like quits working. She's also a writer. And her husband, there's no question of like who's going to step down from their career, and just like that inability to find that space and take up their own space, and we were sort of discussing that too, of just like needing to have our own, like, I feel like at all times there's like someone, when you're a parent, like it's the best job on the planet, but also there's always somebody who needs you and always somebody around. It's like you're never alone. You're never going to the bathroom by yourself. There's like always somebody around. So to take that space and know that you need that and that time, it's also so amazing for, not only like people who watch you and see you and know you so well on social media and your friends and stuff, but your children. To see you take that space and go, okay, mom needs this time for herself to work, or whether it's just take a minute to like let the creativity come in, or whatever it is. I mean, I remember when my second kiddo, Shep, was probably around the same, like 3 months old, and Tom was probably 2. It was back to back, which is crazy. I just checked into
back to backs are crazy. I'm actually, it's because we kept going until we hit 3. So
yeah. And it's just like, oh God. Back to back it's awesome. It's great because they're all like kind of in the same like phase. They're all like, you have to wipe all their butts at the same time instead of like one to the other. It's kind of like it's all chaos all at once, which is great and challenging. And I just remember like needing a break. Like I checked into a hotel room just so I could go to the bathroom and read a magazine. I think it brought Us Weekly at like weeks worth of Us Weekly, just so I could just read fluff and like tune out the world, because you just need a minute to reset. And knowing that about yourself is really important, and it's good to talk about. It's good for whether you have a career or don't, but just to take up that space.
It doesn't matter. You just need your own space. Like when I went on book tour this summer, and the first week I was totally alone, and I was in 6 cities and 6 nights, and everyone's like, "Are you so tired?" And I'm like, "I feel fucking amazing." I'm like, I've been alone.
I'm talking to adults.
I talk to adults. Like I had like layovers in the airport. I didn't care. A layover in an airport with no children. It's amazing.
No diaper bag.
I'm like, I have 19 hands. I can do anything I want in here. Like I stayed up, I watched movies, I ordered ice cream sundaes for room service. Like
for real.
And then my kids were with me on the rest of book tour, which was also awesome because we like road tripped around the country, and it was so fun. And they're so good at book events. Like they are like selling for me. They are just like, I love it. You bought 2 copies, and I'm like, good on you. And but yeah, like we need, and dads too. And my husband's going to St. Louis to meet up with his college buddies this weekend. And I'm like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I don't know, sit in someone's house and play poker for 4 days. And I'm like, awesome, good for you. For you. Yeah,
I agree. I'm all for that. I mean, my husband and I talk about it all the time, and like the need to tap out and like just fill up your cup in whatever capacity, like to have your own space and your own independence, and then come back together and you feel like, oh my God, I feel like I'm human again.
Right.
We all do that, I think. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I love hearing that. And also to have that like nugget of your book right there and bound, and like what a special thing to reward, to give yourself. It's so cool. Um, I love it. Yeah, um, very inspiring. And I don't know where I'm going with this. I tend to ramble, but
Same.
going going back to everyone is lying to you, and Bex and Lizzie, Bex's life and influencing life and taking up her own space, so to speak, where you can see the dichotomy between the work life and like behind the veil, in her space, which is a normal home. I'm curious about the influencing space.
Mhm.
Do you feel like everyone is lying to you in a way, like on social media? Like, what's your thought on that? Like, do you think that, are there places where it is almost like a soundstage and like there's home and that's how it's done? Or
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and I think it's varying degrees, right? I think like every influencer is as unique as every woman like that I've met, but
yeah,
there are accounts, and I know this because I've interviewed these women and they make no bones about it, that they're like, I shoot all of my content on a single day. There's a professional videographer there, there's a professional photographer there. I switch outfits 8 times. I've talked to other women who were like, I 100% rent a kitchen to do all of my like cooking scenes because my real kitchen is a goddamn mess and there's no way
yeah,
like, and it wouldn't, and not only that, but it wouldn't look good on camera, right? Like there are
yeah,
certain things, and you realize this after like, working on TV sets or working in magazines, like there's certain things that work on camera
yeah.
that like do not work in real life.
Clutter does not work on camera.
Yes.
It's amazing how cluttered a house looks when
Yes.
it's on screen, and literally in person, it's not even that bad.
No,
So just add to the reality of that, and it looks crazy
it looks
on screen.
crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, and it makes sense because influencing has become a medium of advertising
Hmm.
in a lot of ways. And so brands still want, many times they claim they want like authenticity, and some of them do sometimes, but they also want things to look good and aspirational. Like that is how advertising works, it's how marketing works.
Yeah.
And so the clearing of this clutter, these picture perfect homes, these picture perfect houses, they do really well with the social media algorithm, as do babies and pregnant bellies. And so, yeah, I mean, I think there is an entire spectrum of folks whose entire life is a soundstage, down to someone who is only on social media with like 100 of their friends and family members, but we're all still kind of posting only certain things. Like no one is seeing anyone's whole life. So, and that's
Yeah.
kind of where like the title of the book works in a lot of ways, because like kind of everyone is lying to you when it comes to posting on social media. Because I mean, I'm super open about like my life and deal with my kids and my husband, but I'm also not like, oh my gosh, we got in the most massive fight this morning because I think this friend of his is kind of a dick and I don't want to have dinner with him, right? So like, but then at the same time, I'm like, I love him and he's wonderful. All of these things can be true. What I think gets dangerous about social media, like this is the thing that I like to talk about a lot when it comes to media literacy, is that with TV, we know we're looking at something created. That was still hard in the beginning of reality television, right? Like it was hard to parse like how much of this is scripted, how much of this is real. And I was actually, one of the things I did when I was at the Celebrity Weeklies is I was in charge of sending people to the bachelor engagement ceremonies to like get scoop, to like crash the ceremony and like find out who won before it was actually on TV.
Oh
All
my
of the
God.
magazines did this. Like it was a whole industry.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much money
Yeah.
was spent on this one thing. But it was the heyday of celebrity magazines. And so like I saw like how the sausage was made of reality shows. I think the same way about a lot of influencing, but the phone, I'm constantly like picking it up because I'm like, this feels like we're looking at someone's whole life. Like it's just a window into their life. And so it feels more dangerous if you don't think about it in terms of, oh, okay, there's branding involved, there's some advertising and marketing involved, instead of being like, oh, I'm just looking at my neighbor's labradoodle. Like it is different. And I think about it, your kids are like the age where they're starting to look at social media and media and screens, or their friends are. And so I think about it a lot now.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. But like Charlie did just get his first computer in his brand new room.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's something we all have to think about every day. Like, what do we post? How much do we post about ourselves? And then also, how do we feel when we consume stuff? Because if you're looking at anything that is making you feel bad or like ashamed about your own life because like your house doesn't look like this, or you're not this kind of mom, then you should not follow it anymore. Because like we should never be made to feel guilty or ashamed about our own lives, because a lot of this isn't real. It's not someone's whole reality.
No, and I agree with that. It's just so hard. I mean, it almost should have a disclaimer, like if we were responsible, or if
Right.
they
Well,
were responsible.
I think the FCC wanted everyone to do a disclaimer.
Yeah.
And like some of us do, and like, or people
But
try
in
to,
general, though,
and then you
know
don't
what I
see
mean?
them, or just a disclaimer of like, what you were seeing is a filtered version of everyone's reality, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so, yeah, I think it is tricky, because I think although again, it's like same problems, different day, because like growing up with most of like the glossy magazines, I'm like, they're making me feel like shit about my body or like my face and all of this stuff. So it's just like, it's a different
Yeah.
I think as women, we've been trained to just feel shame for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I wonder like what that wiring is. Like, why are we wired? I mean, like for the algorithm, for instance, like why are we wired to like want all, like like you were saying, the pregnant bellies, all of the children, this like robust family life, and like, the stuff that looks all glossy and shiny. Like, why is that so much more appealing when it's not reality? And in a lot of ways, it's not even relatable. Like, literally, if you could see on the other side, like over here, I got a pile of clothes on the floor. My desk is a shit show.
Oh my
Like,
God, yeah, no, totally. I mean, look, there's like my house is a fucking mess.
oh, I got my stuff from Burning Man still sitting there from a month ago. Like, my
I
desk is
know.
like, um, and I'm totally happy about. I mean,
And I'm totally
like,
happy. This is my like happy mess. I'm fine. I'm good. Yeah.
right.
I've got this
I got
weird
pit
Japanese
stain. Yeah.
eye cream. I've got hit stains. Like, sure, because it's hot in here.
I know. I mean, but it's life. It's just so funny, like that. Why is it? Why are we? When it's not reality, like what is it about that glossy part? And I mean, it's been like that forever. I mean, even in magazine, it started probably. I'm sure it happened even before magazines, even. But like, with all of that and like that glossy, shiny look to things as if they have it all figured out, when in reality, like we're all like people on this rock spinning around the sun trying to figure out,
Trying to figure it out. Trying to figure
where
it
we're gonna get
out.
our coffee. Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
like it's just
Yep.
it's so interesting and so wild, this like, I don't know, obsession with it all, and yet we can't put it away. It's so fascinating. And even to go back to what you're saying about like showing about the kids, and like I know even Bex is like sort of talked about that, not showing her children, being really strategic about it all. And I remember reading, I don't know if you remember this, there was a woman who was a blogger, and I think she was a really successful blogger, and she was writing about her family, and like that was her bread and butter, I think, like, I want to talk about this. This is my experience. I'm a mom. And she would like write about all of the down and dirty about her kids. And then finally her kid was old enough. And I think he fought back or like said something like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And she's like, well, this is my life. It's still, it was like this whole weird ethical question
Yeah.
of like what to do and what to share. And like even with my kids, like when I first started, it was like really innocuous and sweet, and like I want to share this with the world. Like I'm a mom, maybe this will be helpful, or whatever, to anyone, to someone. And then now I have a 13-year-old, and I'm like, he doesn't want to. He's probably mortified. Like he doesn't want to be it's just a wild thing, when to know when to share and how to share it, and it evolves and changes, like you were saying. You have to bob and weave as you go. And that's what I loved. Also, I loved seeing that world through Bex's eyes, and also through Lizzie's eyes, like as she's going through, and spoiler alert, Bex is missing, and Lizzie's going through the house, and she has to uncover so much through the house, and discovering how she's living and what living is like and what she's actually showing. And I thought it was brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love that scene. And I didn't know what was going to happen in that scene. until we got to it. And I actually, you know, a lot of people do ask me, they're like, the shadow house, totally satire, right? And I was like, I actually haven't encountered a shadow house yet. But I have
But it's great.
but I have encountered the companies that will rent you a kitchen or will rent you. There was one that would rent
Like a studio
for a while, or a bath. My favorite is the bathroom. You could rent a bathroom to do your like getting ready with me routines in. And the selling point was that they don't have toilets in them. Because like in my bathroom or in a lot of bathrooms, if you can see in the mirror, you'll probably see a toilet somewhere.
Yeah. One of my
like,
girlfriends said she was taking a photo the other day of like her outfit and her husband was in the background, like half naked. And she's like, oh shit. You know?
Oh yeah, no, that has happened to me. Like I've been recording a podcast before and he just like strolls in out of the shower and I'm like, yeah, caster.
Like live casting, live tweeting.
So if you see like some of the getting ready with me reels, I'm like, now I look for toilets. I'm like, is there a toilet in there? Is there a toilet in there?
Well, this makes so much sense because my bathroom has no natural light and it's always, I'm like,
no, mine either. Like my bathroom is the worst place to shoot things in ever.
Same. I know.
I think most bathrooms are, right?
As they should be. There's crap everywhere.
Literal crap everywhere. Exactly. And so, yeah, I just like that, but that part was true. And like readers were just like really excited to find that out. They're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's wild. Do you have an opinion on what, it's kind of hard to say because this, it's not a pejorative and I don't want to attack anyone or in that way, but like, do you hope that more people will be more raw on social media, or like, what is your hope, I guess?
I do. I really do. Because what I worry is that we are moving towards a more filtered reality. Again, and my biggest concern, like I said before, is that we're stripping the labor away from women, away from work generally. Some of my favorite episodes of the podcast are where we have had actual female farmers on, and they're just like, my God, they're like, I feel like my very existence is discounted on like a regular basis because they're like, it is so much work what I do.
Yeah.
My kid, one woman was like, what drives me insane is that people are constantly like, your kids must live such an idyllic life running around with a farm with you all the time. She's like, my kids are in daycare because I'm working.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
She's like,
otherwise
my
I can't get anything done.
Is growing vegetables for this farmer's market. And my kids I pay for my kids to be in daycare. They're not just running through the fields all day. I would never get anything done. And so, yes, I'm hoping that we can move towards a more raw and honest place about how hard it is to be a woman and a caregiver in the world. Because if we don't talk about it, we're not going to get the support that we need. We all need support. We all need help with childcare. We all need help with being able to get, proper compensation for all of the work that we're doing and like structures. But when we pretend that it's easy, then it's easy for people to write it off and be like, why don't we need to change things? This is just like, what, you look fine. So I think by pretending that we're all fine all the time, then there's no urgency to actually make a change.
Yeah, exactly. It takes a village.
In all the ways. In all of the ways. I mean, I say that I moved home to Philly because my village was here. My mom is here. All my girlfriends from college live in the same neighborhood as I do.
That's so fun.
I know, it's ridiculous. And our kids are the same age. They go to school together. And it's just like wonderful. But like I moved home for my village. I was in New York and San Francisco. And I'm like, nope. I'm like, moving to the place where I have support because I can't do this alone.
Yeah. And that's so common and it's not talked about a lot.
No, not at all. Because like, we see, I mean, especially like every movie ever, it's like you move to the big city, and in all of those movies, like from the 80s and 90s, it was like, you become a big time journalist. And
then you have the kids and you move to the burbs and
you move to the burbs, but you're like, so you're being picked up by a black town car every day. But so like, I don't think that we talk about like the things that are hard enough, but we can still show beautiful things. The thing is, I also like to look at beautiful things. It's one of the reasons that like being in Tokyo was amazing because like every design was perfect.
I hear it's perfect, and I hear it's so clean, and that it's very disrespectful to be on your cell phone is what I would
You're not supposed to be on your cell phone. You cannot wear shoes in any of the spaces. And you're like, this makes so much sense. Shoes are disgusting. Oh my God.
Don't come to my house.
I've never seen the disgusting. Well, no, everyone wears shoes in my house. I've never seen the disgustingness of shoes until I got to Tokyo before.
I felt shame.
I was like, I'm like, but you're not wrong. And so I love looking at beautiful things. I love looking at a magazine. Oh my God. Like give me like Dwell or like a Martha Stewart.
Oh yeah,
Living
but
or
let
a
me
Real
tell you, I did
Simple.
Architectural Digest, and
Oh,
we had to we
yes.
moved out of our house though. It was amazing. I was so grateful to do it. I felt very honored to be able to be a
Yes.
part of it. But like literally, my house is never and will never be that clean again. And we
No.
had to move out in order for it to be perfect. Which I had no idea like at all until like we were getting close, and everyone was like, you can't be here. And I was like, but we live here. We have 3 kids and dogs, and like, what do you
No,
mean? They're like,
no,
no, no,
you
no.
cannot. No,
Yeah.
you cannot be here. No.
So as amazing as all that looks, like it
Yeah.
takes a village. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna ask you one more question because I love this question, and then I know I could talk to you all day. Like you're just amazing.
All day long.
But I know that a lot of people have some questions. But I love also authors and learning. Like Joe, what are you reading right now? And is there a book that you like to go back to for, I don't know, just get lost in, or it's inspiring, or
Yes, yes, all of those things. I can answer all of those things. All right, so there's one book that I loved from this summer that I think like was like just did not get enough love and credit. It's Slanting Towards the Sea. It is both a coming of age and also a second chance romance written by a Croatian woman who I got to meet at the Adriatic Writers Conference,
cool.
which I'm a co-founder of, and it started last year, and she is local there, and so she came and taught to our class, and I just like fell in love with her, and her book came out a week before mine. Slanting Towards the Sea by Lydia Hilge. She's like just a good human being, but the book is also so beautiful and so well written. My best friend's first novel comes out in March, and I read this 5 years ago when we were like first becoming friends. We traded books with each other, which was a really tender moment of like,
Oh my God, I love it.
what if we don't like each other's shit? Like,
Yeah, I know that like
can we
fear.
move forward?
Yeah, are we still gonna be friends after this?
Yeah, and now she's my like closest friend and like first reader of everything. But I've been thinking about this book for 5 years, and it finally comes out in March, and it's called The Fountain. And it's about an immortal woman who lives in the Catskills, and it's just so good. It'll be all over my socials. Casey
Can't wait.
Cheska, yeah, she's amazing. I go back to Maggie Shipstead's Great Circle a lot, which I think is like just a really beautiful piece of literary historical fiction. And so well written, and she's so smart, and it's like she's an expert in all of the things. So I've gone back to that book and reread it. I've also gone back. Judy Blume is the reason that I became an author. I like read her stories about like young girls in the suburbs. I grew up in the suburbs. They were just like normal girls, right? I was like, oh, yeah. I can actually see myself in a book. Like, you don't have to be a superhero or a princess or something. You can just be like a regular girl who lives in New Jersey. I'm like a regular girl who lives outside of Pennsylvania.
Who's getting their period and
getting their period and he likes the boy.
I know. And, yeah. I love her documentary is amazing.
Oh my God, it's so good. And there's also I've gotten to meet her at her bookstore, Books and Books down in
in Florida, right?
Yeah. And she's just like also amazing in person, and you're like, oh my gosh. The fact that she has this bookstore and she loves books so much, like it just like it warms my heart. And yeah, so those are the ones that I'm like looking over my nightstand, because I'm like, what else is over there right now? Well, because also I read so many books so far in advance, right? That I'm like,
that's amazing.
I don't know what is even out right now. The memoir that I recommend to everyone is also by another one of my girlfriends. I think it's actually really, really like great for women in the world right now. Glynis McNichol, I'm mostly here to enjoy myself.
Yes. Oh my God. I love her so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was DMing. I was like, oh my God, I would love to figure out how to make that into a movie or TV show, because it's so.
Yes.
She gave me permission. Like, I felt like she gave me permission to like exist.
Yes.
Like, I think I can see why that would be like a hedonist lens. And it's like, I was telling my husband, sorry, I'm like hijacking this, but I just like, that was so mind blowing to me, because I was explaining it to him, and I was like, it's this beautiful love story about a woman who like actually listens to her desires, and not desires of like sexual desires, which I think the book jacket in a way is like so fitting, and also does it a bit of a disservice, because it makes it seem like it's sexual, and that is like one piece of the pie.
One piece. Yeah.
It's like so beautiful of a book. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
With her girlfriends, and
it's like the desire to like be with girlfriends and to be hugged and to be touched and to eat delicious cheese and chocolate and
ride a bike.
To ride a bike. Yeah.
It's amazing.
I was with Glynis when she wrote her first memoir. No one tells you this. We were driving cross country. She drove me cross country to marry my husband in San Francisco. We drove in a tiny yellow Fiat with my big,
Oh my God.
big gross dog. And
I love it.
that's when she started writing Mostly Here to Enjoy Myself, because we don't see enough stories where the happy ending is a woman being on her own. And
yeah, and there's not like this twist or something. It's just
no,
like,
there's no twist. It's just,
this is my choice.
I'm just and Glynis right now, talked to her this morning, is in Paris, living her best life, doing a writing conference, like just being fabulous. So Mostly Here to Enjoy Myself. I recommend it so often at book events. And like I said, my kids are hustlers. And so like by the time I'm off a stage, Charlie will have found the book in the bookstore and like handed it to someone. And I'm like, well, how do you always know where to find Aunt Glynis? In a book? He's like, oh, he's like, I'm just real good at finding that book for you.
Yeah, I love it. You need it as your PR.
Yeah, no, he's so good. He's so good. So yeah, those are my big recommendations.
Oh my God, I love it so much. That's so rad. Makes me happy. I love that. And I love that we have similar books. Okay, I'm gonna get to questions. I could talk your ear off. I can't believe we've been here for so long, and
It's the best way to spend the afternoon.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Okay, so we'll get to some questions. Those are chats. So sorry guys. Okay, final twist in the book. This is a question from Martina. The final twist in the epilogue was very surprising. Was that always your plan for the story?
No, that was my plan was the original twist, and then the Veronica twist and the doctor stuff that came much later. But it didn't come at the very end either. Like they usually, I can usually get like the big twists around the middle of the book, but I have to get to the middle to get there. Like I think I usually have to get to like the peak of the action to then be like, oh, okay, now I know where we're going at the end. And I think that's also part of kind of like the flow state of like sitting down and being like, the way that I described it to someone the other day of why I can't outline. And I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's like an outline for me would be like trying to like map out my whole future with someone on a first date. I'd be like, I don't fucking know you yet. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. So because I don't know my characters yet. And then like, once I spend time with them on the page and once they like start to live in my brain, then I'm like, oh, I know what you're going to do in this situation. So it just feels crazy to me to be to like try to predict what they're going to do before they become fully formed people in your head.
I love that. I love it because they feel so real and so visceral.
Yeah, but they're not in the beginning. It's almost as if like I'm trying to predict who my kids are going to be from the very beginning, when I'm like, you guys surprise me every day. I didn't know you were going to take a morning shower.
Exactly. CEO or president. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. Okay, Pura, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. How do you lock in on your writing when life, family, and responsibilities pull you away?
It's hard, right? Like, you know, I'm like super vigilant about my writing practice, and I'm also fast. I'm like vigilant, fast, and efficient. And I fully credit it to the fact that I was a newspaper reporter for so long, like in the days where it was like, you will file your copy at 4 o'clock or you are like screwed, you're fired. And it was like toxic workplaces before toxic workplaces. So I can sit down and I can write through anything, anywhere. I know a lot of people that are like, I need to be like in a space. I need this candle. I need this drink. And I'm like, no, I can write through anything, because like I've been on like campaign trails or like an actual like car chase, pulling over on the side of the road and then writing an entire story on my sidekick. Does anyone remember the sidekick?
Oh my God, yes. My husband had a holster that he would put his sidekick in when we first met.
Yeah, like the device, it like opened like the DeLorean and Back to the Future.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
And so so I used to like just bang it out. So I usually get it done no matter what. And I'll get my word count in, even if I'm like doing it on my phone in between like a puking kid or something.
Yeah.
And like mostly just to keep the muscles going every day. But I've also like learned to give myself grace. Like I did not give myself grace for like too long, where I'm like, all right, you are not going to write today. And it's going to be okay. Like the world, again, the world is not going to end.
What's going to happen?
If you don't file these 1,000-1,500 words, you know, but I like the showing up, like, because for me, it's like almost the same as working out. And like, if I show up, even if I don't feel like doing it, I've never
It's
finished and been
progress.
like, I feel worse for having done this, right? Like it is totally the process. And yeah, so I try to write through it. I don't really get writer's block. Mostly because I've been so trained to not be allowed, right? So that's probably a toxic trait.
Especially so last minute.
Yeah. So yeah, so I just like kind of power through it, but I also write complete shit. So it even like I just get the words done. I don't go back and edit them. And I'm like, as long as you were getting words on a page, you were doing something, and don't be afraid to throw them out later.
Yeah. Yeah, I do love that. I've heard that a lot, and that's great advice to just get it out on the page and like looking at it like a workout. Like at least it's something. It's progress. It's a forward motion. So
Forward motion, exactly. And it might be like total crappy forward motion, but it doesn't matter.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's so great. Okay, so one more question. And okay, this is a good one. This is from Nicole. Do you want to revisit any of your characters and write new stories with or for them? There's so much more I want to know.
Yes, I want to spend time with all of them, like all of them all the time. I'm working on the Sicilian Inheritance sequel right
Amazing.
now. Yeah. Which my editors are still like, I don't know, sequels don't really work. And I'm like, it's gonna be great, guys.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. I'm like, it's fine. I'm just gonna write it. We're good.
Yeah.
But then with this book, I think it'll be really interesting. We're in the like TV development process right now. And
For Everyone Is Lying to You?
yeah, for Everyone Is Lying to You, for both.
Oh my God. It's gonna be
For
amazing.
Sicilian and for this. And Jen, like, you know this well, like we have no idea what's gonna happen. Like the world is all over the place. But like I already have a second season plotted out. Like I think the world of Everyone Is Lying to You, because we've created this world of influencers, could be almost like White Lotusy, where it's like you go to a different destination every year and something else happens, but you're still kind of circling in the world. I'd love to follow Olivia and see like where else she is going.
Oh yeah.
But my character, and like Charlotte Walsh, if Charlotte Walsh likes to win, I think about her all the time. I mean, especially we had to like really push forward with her storyline because we did fully develop a whole season for Amazon of that, and we had to go through what does season 2 and season 3 look like, and then that died during the pandemic, and now we just brought it back, and so the option is back in play, and it's back in development. But yeah, so like we kind of know where Charlotte goes. I think about all of them all of the time. Like they really all live rent free in my head. It's really busy up there.
Oh my God, you're so amazing. Like I'm just like I'm so in awe. I've always loved following along with your journey. I love you on social media, and I loved meeting you in real life. And
I loved meeting you in real life. It was like that was just such a treat. I mean, everything about that conference was so cool and inspiring, and I made so many great connections with women there. Many of whom read this book for me.
Well, as they should. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and we're just like, oh my gosh, because I get the question a lot. They're like, how do influencers feel about the book? And I'm like, we all want to be seen a little bit more. Like we all want our worlds to be shown. And like I said, I was really, really careful with it. Libby Ward, who we both hung out with a little bit there, just finished reading it on a solo vacation and was just messaging me about it. So yeah,
it's so good. It's so good.
It's a cool journey.
It's brilliant. I mean, and truly, like all of your characters, I can't wait to see them on the big screen. Like, I honestly, I was like,
I mean, I feel like I have to see them. Like, I'll keep everyone updated because I'm like this. I want all of them to be made, but like, I really want this one to be made. So.
It's just so the characters are so rich, and it's just like, I mean, it's so good, and it's so relatable. It's so fun, yeah, and it deserves to be seen in another medium. I would love that, and I love and adore you. I just think you're so inspiring and fascinating, and I am just so like in awe of all of the hats that you wear, and you just make it seem so effortless and easy. And I know that it takes a lot of work and a lot of bandwidth, and the fact that you're always able to be just like you're constantly pouring out so much creative stories and journalistic integrity into all your work. It's just beautiful.
Thank you so much. The love and admiration is so mutual. You were just a joy on my feed. So.
Hot Mess Express.
Hot Mess Express. Here we go. Yep. I'm gonna go make some ketchup out of that one tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have some leftover coffee. Maybe I'll reheat it. I don't know.
Oh, I think I need double coffee. I have a birthday dinner with 2 of my girlfriends tonight, plus kid gymnastics. So I'm gonna go double coffee.
Yeah, add some tequila to that. Might ease that. I'm just kidding.
I might. It's free.
There's no judgment here.
There's
No
no
judgment.
judgment. No judgment zone.
Well,
I'm just so honored that we got to do this. This was so
same.
much fun. I loved it so much.
Same. Thank you so much, and thank you for being flexible and taking the time. I know you're so busy, so I so appreciate it.
Loved it. I loved it. And thank you, Charlie. We love men who support
Yes.
men.
Love you, Charlie.
You, Charlie.
Thank you guys, and don't forget, in the chat we've been putting links to Sicilian Inheritance. We've been putting all of the books and all of the websites and Instagram. Go follow Jo on Instagram as well. She, the influencer that she is, influencing you to buy and read books.
Right?
Dang it.
And Charlie and little Charlie as well.
Little Charlie. Good work on training Charlie to sell books. That's very good.
No, right. I'm like, I train him to shower, put his clothes away, and sell books. I'm like, I'm done. I'm just
As you should. Yeah, your work is done.
My work is done.
Listen, I also bought the book because I used to be a dad blogger, and for 8 years, and so I like Jen was like, you have to read this book. Like you have to be, you know, this world. You got to get in there. And I was like, okay, let's do this.
I love that so much.
So thank you guys, and thank you everyone who joined from around the world. It's 5 a.m. for Cameron. Like, just thank you.
It's amazing.
I know, it's amazing.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you again.